this next exercise, we're going to begin to look at the 4-H landscape design drawing site. And for this site, represented here by this drawing, we have the residence that's located in the middle. We have the garage that's connected to the driveway, and then the road is located out here on this drawing. And of course this would be the front yard, a little covered porch and a foyer in this area that moves you into the house, and then the backyard here. The dashed line around the edge, of course, represents the property lines. For this phase of the project, we're going to focus on the functions that's occurring on the site. And per our competition guidelines, we want to think about a few key issues. We want to think about how people might walk to the front door, what that walk feels like. The front door is located here, how that might work. We want to think about a patio in the back, as well as a swimming pool, and then the planting beds that would define the yard itself. So thinking about the function in this case, for this exercise, all I'm using is a pencil, and we're going to develop a functional diagram, And so the first thing to think about is, how do we get to the front door? And so we have a driveway, we have a road, we need a walkway or a sidewalk that carries us to the front door that's located in this area right there. And so thinking about that, there's several options. We could have a walkway that goes from the driveway to the front door. That would be one option. Another option would be that we would have a walkway that goes from the road to the front door. And then the third option would be we could have both of these that work together in some way as part of a one they connect to each other, and then we have both a walkway from the driveway and a walkway from the road itself. And so I want you to think about what you might want to do in your design. Maybe think about the house that you have at home, and how do your sidewalks carry you to the front door. And so you have to make a decision from a functional standpoint. Do I want one, two, or both of these walkways? For the purposes of this exercise, I'm going to make the decision just to have the one walkway. So I'm going to use my pencil. That walkway that I want goes from the driveway to the front door. And so I'm just thickening that up here graphically so I can see it. It reads well there. And so that's not actually where it may be in that location. It may not be. It may be this geometry. It may be different geometry. So it doesn't have to have a curve in it. It could be all straight and zigzagged. So lots of options. We're not making that decision now. Just thinking about the function part. And so as part of that function, as we walk in, think about what that experience might be. We might want some planting areas adjacent to the walkway. And so if that's the case, we could designate plantings here in this location. What happens out here? We could have that as lawn. We could have that as lawn over here. Of course, in this case, this line does not exist. That was an option that I was thinking about. Do we need any more plantings? Maybe we want some plantings kind of on this side of the driveway since we have them on this side. And again, I'm just kind of bubbling these in, kind of drawing these ovals or random shapes and say this is planting. I'm going to do a hatch here just so that graphically that stands out. That looks good on both sides of the garage. And then the plantings would be here as well. You could have them in another location. Do you want any plantings out by the road? You could have that, make that decision. So this would be a planting area there. And then maybe I want a few more as I walk, kind of like we're on both sides of the driveway here. Maybe I want to be on both sides of the walkway as we get to the front door. So I'm going to put another bubble in. This is just a decision I'm making. It's kind of what I want it to feel like. And again, that's not the geometry. It's just a general area. And I'll put more plantings here. Okay. So that's something that I'm thinking about there for the front yard. I have lawn. Maybe I'm going to put at a fence to kind of close off the backyard from the front yard. I'll just connect those across to do that. The fence would then go all the way around the property line here in the back, so I'm closed in. All right, now it's time to move our attention to the backyard. And so in the backyard we have one exit out of the great room or the family room. We have another door that leads out of the dining area. These two are pretty close together. They kind of work together there. We also have another additional exit off the master bedroom as well. So if we look back to our requirements for the 4-H landscape design drawing competition, then we are required to have a small seating area off the master bedroom. And so the master bedroom is over here by itself, and so we need a small seating area. We come out these doors, a small area there. And I'm just gonna, again, just do like a bubble here. It's a little oval. I'm gonna circle that in like that. And I'm not giving that shape, I'm just showing what that is. And I'm gonna write seating in there. We're also required to have a major patio off of the family room. And so we have the family room at doors here, the dining there. So I'm gonna again think about what that patio might be. I could make it a big bubble kind of in this area. I could make it longer against the house. I have to make that decision. So I'm asking you to make kind of a similar decision. So think about how you might, what shape or form that might be. So I'm just gonna kind of pencil this one in here. We could have it kind of long against the house, and I'm going to write in main patio there. Additionally, we need a swimming pool in the backyard. And so where that might be, I think it probably relates to this main patio here. And so let me go ahead and put that in. I could put the swimming pool this way, or I could put the swimming pool this way long, or I could put it diagonal. So you have to make a choice. If you want it relating to the patio, then you have to make a choice, kind of which direction you might want that oriented, or maybe it's more of a equal on the horizontal and vertical. So think about that. I'm going to go ahead and make the decision. I'm just going to kind of make it long, moving away from the house. There, I'm going to write in pool. There, you could have your pool in another orientation, another location. And then around the pool, I also need some more patio area. So I'm going to make another patio around the pool. And again, this is just kind of a general shape that I'm doing here. And that's my pool patio there. So in addition to the pool and the patio, we need a big lawn area. And so we filled this side with the pool and the main patio. We need a big lawn area. In this scenario, it's going to have to go over here. And so I'm going to put it here. Exactly what shape that is, not yet decided. I'm just kind of placeholder there. And then what is left is this area is kind of at the edge. And I'm going to decide to plant those areas. And so I'm just going to hatch those in. And we can have planting beds, flowers, trees, predominantly in this area. It doesn't mean every single part of this needs to be filled. With plants, but that's predominantly where the plants are going to go. And then I have to decide, do I want to put more plants between these two areas, or do I want to connect them? I might leave them open to connect the patio of the pool over here to the lawn. So if kids can run, they can just run back and forth a little bit. Okay. And that's basically the functional diagram. The backyard's generally a little fuller. The front yard's generally more open is a common solution. But we've kind of defined all of our areas and what might happen in those areas. And so you don't have to make the same decisions I make. You could actually have a functional diagram that looks distinctly different. But these are the decisions that I made for this project. You might have distinctly different decisions, but kind of thinking about what the relationships are. How do you leave the house? How do you go in the house? What do you look at when you're doing those things as well? So thank you very much, and continue to work on your functional diagram.